Let's start having fun right now by singing the Dream Bunny song.
I feel like I just watched something made by aliens trying to communicate with our world. Something so removed from human experience that it could be part of some bizarre, esoteric alternate reality game designed to hook nostalgic weirdos like me into a dark web of conspiracy and terror. Something that may kill me in 7 days. I first saw Dream Bunny mentioned on Brutal Moose's channel 5 years ago, and I thought nothing of it. It was weird, yeah, kind of amateurish, and I forgot about it. Until I saw it again. One lone copy on eBay, $25 plus shipping. Steep, yeah, but it's super rare, I thought. And kind of a dare at $25. And my impulse control, it's so bad, y'all. You see, apart from Brutal Moose's delightfully maximalist take on Dream Bunny in 2017, there's almost nothing about this tape on YouTube, or anywhere else on the internet for that matter, and I've looked. 6 videos of varying quality cover this tape, and not one of them has uncovered the secrets of Dream Bunny. That being said, this tape may be unsolvable, impregnable even. It's so obtuse, so weirdly and specifically Adult Swimmy, that if I hadn't proven to myself beyond a reasonable doubt that it was genuine, I would have thought the whole thing was a bit. So I put my $25 on the electronic barrel, and I got this monstrosity sent to my physical address to live in my actual house unattended. I wasn't prepared. I don't think you are either. Enter Dreamland. This is Dream Bunny. We begin on an enormous and ominous warning. For promotional use only. Well, Childhood Productions Incorporated, consider that directive complied with. Anyway, we immediately get our title in a voice that's both chipper and manically forceful.
Dream Bunny. In Dreamland.
It's really that subtitle that tags it, huh? It's like hitting a speed bump at 40 miles per hour or hearing DJ Khaled yell his own name over somebody else's song. The opening credits song is Christmassy and about loving toys, but it all feels like a dirge. This is the first of 4.5 songs that all feel disconnected from anything resembling reality. They're halfway between 90s praise and worship music and one of those bargain basement cassette tapes of kids' songs that your parents would play in the car on the way to daycare to keep you from screaming your head off. Some jarring narration takes us out of the song as we zoom out on an old woman in one of the most slapdash cottages I have ever seen. The old woman's lips are moving, but they make no sound. The sound editing in this show is all over the place. Either the sync failed and they had to attach everything together manually, or the recording on the day was unusable and they had to do extensive ADR.
Hello, boys and girls. My name is Anna Knight, also known as Auntie Anna.
You see, the problem with ADR when it's done poorly is that the tone of the entire recording changes. You can hear it. Also, if the person isn't coached properly, the sync between the lips and the sound is horrifying to look at. Like this, right now. I don't like it. Make it stop.
So, close your eyes now.
These children are all in grave danger. The room they're in is so sparse and ominously decorated. Hard floors, cheap wallpaper, a door that is way too new looking for the space they're in. Oh, and did I mention the nightmare dolls that peer down from on high? Good lord, those dolls. Who are these ever for? Who found them charming? Who took a look into their dead, vacant porcelain faces and went, oh, isn't this just darling? I need 30 of these staring down at me silently while I sleep. The answer? Grandmothers around the world, apparently. And this woman, who is nobody's grandmother, and everybody's Auntie Knight. Ominous.
I have shared my story with many boys and girls, and now I'd like to share this wondrous story with you.
I don't think she's related to these kids at all. Why are they staying at her house? Why do they all have nightcaps? Wouldn't you get woken up in the night with a pom-pom, or am I just a light sleeper? She clutches Dream Bunny like a totem of great and terrible power and commands the children to enter Dreamland. They comply. They cannot disobey Auntie Anna. Or Auntie Knight. Make up your mind, show. Am I getting a pretzel or submitting to the will of the Dream Flayer? One wacky video feedback effect later, we're in a hastily constructed set in a warehouse in Pasadena, which is where I go when I go to Dreamland, to be fair. Not as colorful as this, though. You can smell the air. It's musty with stale sweat and craft services coffee. These kids in the background, who are later revealed to be the manifestations of toys in Auntie Anna's house, look miserable. I imagine the air conditioning situation in here wasn't amazing, and they were standing mostly still for hours on end. There's also a bubble machine to make us feel like we're on the set of the Lawrence Welk show by way of Eraserhead. Ask your grandparents about the bubbles. You haven't called in a while. A couple of our main characters wander into this space, remark on how beautiful it is, and mention Dream Bunny, which summons him seemingly instantaneously from thin air. He doesn't have the gentle presence you'd expect from a cuddly mascot performer. He has the body language of someone who just got told his flight's been overbooked and he'll have to accept a voucher for tomorrow's departure instead. He lumbers.
Hi, kids. Did I hear someone talking about me?
They instantly embrace him. The familiarity they have with him, despite having just met him, is deeply troubling. Not to harp on the audio so much, but the lack of any background music or sound effects is eerie as well. Combine that with the persistent reverb of this under-decorated industrial space, and you're left with an inescapably hollow sound. Everything is dreamy in the exact wrong way. Not so much fantastical as it feels like it was described to you third hand. And we have to talk about the Dream Bunny suit here. It's awful. Every part of it is upsetting. The fact that he looks like a penguin with dreadlocks, his weird little flappy mouth, his enormous, incongruous, drooping arms, his sewn-on eyes locked permanently in an upturned glance, the mesh nose so the performer could see and breathe, and his filthy, pleated stomach. It all comes together to form a really potent revulsion that lingers even when he's not on screen. Every part of this show raises more questions than it answers, and any answers you could find are the kinds that don't resolve anything in any satisfying way. Almost Lynchian in that way. I think the griminess of the costume is the most distressing thing here, though. He doesn't read Dream Bunny so much as he reads unlicensed Times Square Happy Feet mascot. The kind of mascot outfit that smells exactly as bad as it looks. One that's been handed down from panhandler to panhandler since time immemorial. The kids, naturally, ask where Dream Bunny came from, and the horrors just do not cease.
Where did you come from?
Many, many years ago, Michael. During a time that was very frightening for children.
It's scary now.
The kids should have really trusted their instincts on this one. It is scary now. Get out of there. Somebody needs to give you the kick. If you die in the dream, you die in real life. The way the children deliver lines in this show really adds to the unsettling dreaminess of the whole affair. There's such a stilted sing-song quality to the dialogue that butts against Dream Bunny's clinical, matter-of-fact deadpan that makes it seem like they're all talking past each other. The little girl explains her fear of the dark to Dream Bunny, and he gives her practical advice about fear like he's a rational grown-up.
Well, you know, Nikki, the world is the same in the dark of night as the light of day. But when I was a little bunny, I had a nightlight in my room, and it really helped.
Maybe that's the energy that makes this show so weird. A lot of kids shows that use big mascots alongside a cast of child actors like this make the dynamic child-focused. The mascot is a kid or childlike in some way, and the kids can interact with them like equals, even if the mascot has more power. Lessons can come from other grown-ups present, but the main big mascot never really imparts wisdom or lessons onto the kids. They're the ones learning the lesson. Here though, Dream Bunny is just a weird grown-up bunny that only appears when you sleep. The power dynamic is stilted. It's not so much Barney as it is your dad's friend from work babysitting because he owes your parents a favor. We get some weird lore from more kids that are similarly stuck here in Dreamland about a place called Daytime Land, which is a name for our normal reality is sweatier than the poor kid in the back row in the full-body bear suit. So miserable. Also, there's a super mean kid that brings all of the clunkiness of this into incredibly sharp focus.
You see, Daytimeville is where you spend all of your time when you're not here visiting Dreamland. It's the time you spend at home, in school, with your friends.
You know, daytime, home, you get it?
Oh, I knew that.
Yeah, right.
The only reason to have this in the script in the first place is because you don't trust the kids to get the concept. Not sure what that says about the amount of faith the writers have in their audience. Not a good sign for what's to come, that's for sure. Dream Bunny explains his mysterious, otherworldly origins. There was a rainbow at night, thousands of stars, and a crescent moon. I'm starting to think that Dream Bunny may be some kind of renegade, fugitive, psychic alien that feeds on the dreams of children. It's the only logical explanation here. He has such an oddly effective impact on these kids too. They open up to him. They tell him dark, troubling stories from their childhoods, and he flatly accepts them and reassures the children with platitudes. These kids are just pouring their hearts out with the rapt attention of the other children. They want to share in this pain. They have to experience it together.
One night, before I fell asleep, I remember looking out my window.
What happened, Jessica? Tell us what happened.
Yes, tell us. Please tell us.
It seems like they all have a similar origin story for their time in Dreamland. Something sad or upsetting happens to them, there's a rainbow in the dark like they're living a Ronnie James Dio song, and suddenly there's a Dream Bunny doll. Seriously, Dream Bunny is a Doctor Who Monster of the Week. Don't steal this idea, Russell. I call dibs on that spec script.
I couldn't have said it any better myself. Dreamland is that very special place you can go when you're sad, or you're afraid, or you just need someone to talk to. You see, when you arrive in Dreamland and talk about any sadness or fears that you may have, they just sort of fade away. Now, I know it's sad without your daddy, but you know he loves you, even if he can't be with you all the time.
Thanks. I feel a little better now.
Cool. Dream Bunny, you're the best.
Thank you, Keanu.
Thank you indeed, Keanu. The kids are now convinced they can do literally everything. Not sure how we got here, but Dream Bunny is some kind of miracle worker. Either that or he's sneaking them nips of bourbon when we're not looking.
Everything is so easy and fun in Dreamland. Now we know how to do anything and do the best at everything we do.
That's right.
Dream Bunny demands immediate fun, and they all start singing the Dream Bunny song. No worries if you don't know the words. Apparently in Dreamland, the words are automatically placed inside your mind like some kind of psychic summoning ritual.
I'm not an ordinary rabbit, but let's keep it a secret, don't you blab it.
Red flags everywhere. Kids, if there's a bunny in your dreams that tells you not to tell anyone about him, it's time to up your dosage and schedule a follow-up with your mental health care provider. Just a little PSA. The songs in this show are lazy, and I'm not exactly sure how they were recorded, because even though everything sounds like it was pre-taped in the world's cheapest recording studio, every once in a while you hear the unmistakable sound of rubber-soled shoes loudly squeaking on concrete floors.
You can hitch a ride to any destination.
Also, Dream Bunny rhymes wonder with slumber, which may be a federal crime. The only one we can prosecute on at the very least. After a period of sitting on the floor, throwing up hand gestures, the kids get up and participate in my favorite part of Bad Kids programming, half-hearted and half-memorized choreography.
Dream Bunny, take me to Dreamland, do it just as you said.
Nobody in this dance sequence looks like they received choreography from the same person. The kids are all out of tempo, though that may be because the music was piped in or re-recorded and altered later. The toys in the background each seem to have their own personal dance they want to do, and Dream Bunny is awkwardly faced away from everyone else. He can't bear to witness their dance moves. But when we cut to Dream Bunny, there's an odd desperation to the performance. Like the guy in the costume is trying to signal to us that he's being held against his will. We feedback loop our way back to Auntie Anna's cottage/dungeon, where we get a truly horrifying montage of those porcelain dolls juxtaposed with their sentient dream selves, and then we're right back into Dreamland. The shot of the doll children lingers for just a bit too long. Again, with no background music, we're forced to sit in this discomfort and think about the choices that brought us here. Good audio design can paper over a lot of awkwardness, but here the howling void at the center of this show is unavoidable. It's an empty vessel filled with weird proto-nightmares from the dawn of creation. And also bad, flimsy advice. One of the girls is afraid, I say, to go back to her waking life because some boys at school pick on her. Here's Dream Bunny's sage wisdom on the subject.
They probably like you and just don't know how to show it. Tell you what, next time, give them that big winning smile of yours and ask them not to tease you anymore. Then just watch what happens.
Okay, I'll try that when I get back to daytime, Belle.
There's bad television and then there's irresponsible television. This one falls in the latter camp. Absolutely buck wild, terrible advice. Pro tip, don't take this advice. And, in general, try not to take life advice from anthropomorphic man-sized rabbits you see in your dreams. The last guy I heard of who did that got smushed by a jet engine.
All around me are familiar faces.
pieces.
A bunch of kids go and play on a rainbow slide we never see because we never leave the confines of this industrial park warehouse, and even if we could, there's no money for a rainbow slide in the budget, and that leaves Tiffany to share her hopes and dreams with Dream Bunny. They are his fuel. He needs them to survive. This leads to a song about hopes and dreams that I can only describe as pitchy.
Hopes and dreams, my legs wait. Every new dance step to take. Ready me to dance one leg and hear my toes don't ache.
I'm not 100% sure if that's tape warble or just that person's singing voice. The lip sync here is fascinating as well.
I am bumping, understanding. Our toes never think of landing.
If this is Tiffany's heart song, she may be better off leaving those hopes and dreams in dreamland. Just saying. I'm tough, but fair. Back in the cabin, Auntie Anna's descriptions of Dream Bunny's powers slowly become more intense and more frightening. Her performance is so outwardly sinister. How did this make it past anyone?
Dream Bunny is real. He's not just a stuffed toy I sleep with at night. Whoa, look at all the colors.
Wow, I've never seen so many brilliant colors.
It goes on like this for another 10 minutes. The show exists in repetitive chunks that could form an endless cursed loop. In her remote, snowy cabin in the woods off of any main roads so no one can find you, Auntie Anna explains that Dream Bunny is real and powerful, and then we get a series of vignettes with Dream Bunny inside Dreamland where the kids seemingly meet Dream Bunny for the first time. Except, it's the same kids. They're meeting him over and over again. They're not retaining anything they learn in Dreamland, even though Dream Bunny claims that this is where they can come to learn about all of the good things in life. Each time, they're just a little more bought in on the idea of Dreamland, a little bit further away from their normal lives. Sometimes there's a song, and it's usually presided over by the cadre of sentient toys. Sometimes they participate, but mostly they just stare, wondering when it will be their turn to live in daytime land.
Well, as Jessica said, it's most difficult to be in two places at the same time. So, on my way to Dreamland, I grab the hands of all your toys, then when we enter Dreamland, they come alive.
That's right.
I assume that Dream Bunny is facilitating some kind of soul swap here. The dolls are actually vessels for his brethren, and they cannot live in daytime land without a human host. The only way to do this is to catch the kids in a liminal state like Dreamland, and transfer the children's souls into the doll vessels. What Auntie Anna gets out of this, I don't know. Maybe she's like some kind of psychic lamprey feeding off of the energy transference. Or maybe she's one of the dolls that successfully swapped with a little girl in the 40s, and she's been luring in children for the rest of her doll brothers and sisters for the past 80 years. It's conjecture, I know, but it's the only thing that makes any sense. The rest of the songs are just as weird and slapdash. The song Jumping Jill sings sounds like it was recorded in the adjoining room without her consent.
Dreams and the memories made in childhood are treasures we keep day to day. Stored up somewhere from deep inside us, we remember some things they say, like the wisdom and wit of your childhood, Grandma, you keep inside you today.
And the shaky zoom work makes the whole thing seem like a parent's hasty recording of a 4th grade play that literally nobody will ever watch again. I think I know the reason on this one, though. They either couldn't get anyone to re-record that song after the production, or her vocal take on the day was deemed better than the one they had recorded, even though it seems like the boom mic was placed somewhere at a nearby coffee bean. The children play with the dolls in Auntie Anna's hovel. The transference is almost complete. Or maybe it's already occurred and the toy inhabitants are mocking the children who are now trapped eternally in those doll bodies. Ugh. We end the show on a double take of the Dream Bunny theme, and then it just ends. No lesson, no theme, just straight to credits after witnessing 22 minutes and change of an alien ritual designed to remove consciousness from your body in more ways than one. There's so little to work with here. I have no choice but to wildly speculate nefarious intent. This is how cults and conspiracy theories form. The alternative is sadder and simpler. This tape is just not very good. Hollywood chews up and spits out a lot of ideas, and for the most part, things that get lost stay lost for a reason. The democratization of tools in the 80s and 90s let basically anyone create a TV show, and I bet you there's a pile of these sorts of failed pilots out there that are even more horrifying. I don't know who first circulated this tape. I'm pretty certain this isn't an original copy, it's almost certainly a duplicate made in the last 5 years, and I'm not even sure where Brutal Moose found his copy. Maybe it was the same eBay seller that sold it to me. I tried reaching out to the seller and to the credited director on this thing, Linda Rockstro, but nobody wants to talk about Dream Bunny. I can't blame them. Maybe Dream Bunny deserved to be forgotten. Maybe that was the only way to keep us safe. Oh no, what have I done?
That's where I wanna go.
Thank you all for watching Too Many Tapes. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell icon to get updates for when I upload new videos. If you feel like watching Dream Bunny in full, check it out on my second channel. Do you know anything about the production or making of Dream Bunny? Were you involved directly? I'd love to hear from you. Please let me know in the comments section, because I would absolutely love to interview you and get your story of the making of this show for a follow-up video. If you want to help out a small YouTube creator, consider donating $1 or more to my Patreon. Every patron dollar goes towards the production of this show, be it through equipment purchases or sourcing strange and off-putting tapes like this one. If you donate $50 or more a month, you're Cammy, and you are the only one who can break this Dream Bunny curse. That being said, I'm not 100% sure how you're gonna do that, but no pressure. Perhaps your name pulsing in a lot of colors as large as I can make it on the screen will help. Anything? Maybe? Well, no harm in trying. If you donate $20 or more a month, you're a nightmarish porcelain doll granted sentience, and you get to have your name in the credits in an enormous font like NATO Kitsch. You can also be like Mippa and have your name in an enormous font too. For $10 or more a month, you're not ordinary rabbits, and your name gets to be pretty big in the credits too. And for $5 a month, you're trapped forever in Dreamland with no hope of escape. But hey, at least you get early access to my videos. Thank you all again for watching, and I'll see you next time on Too Many Tapes.
Shut up and sit down.
I'm not 100%.